Peace, family. This is Dr. Ansel Augustine, the Office of Black Catholic Ministries for the Archdiocese of New Orleans. Having the honor and privilege today to reflect on our readings for this Sunday, November 12th, 2023. As I was looking at the readings, this month is something that is sacred in our Catholic Church, and especially for the Black Catholic community. November is Black Catholic History Month. And just this past weekend here in the Archdiocese of New Orleans, we had our annual Black Saint celebration. Started off with a joyful parade throughout the neighborhood where the prayer service was held, and we concluded with a prayer service at one of our local Black Catholic parishes in the city. Also, we recognized many of our leaders from our parishes and the community as well for their gifts and services that they gave and have given and continue to give to our community. The work that we do to help one another is so important. So as I was looking at our readings today, several things stood out to me. The psalm, the responsorial psalm, my soul is thirsting for you, O Lord, my God. When I read that psalm and when I was looking at it and reflecting on it, it came to me today, and it was something that I charged our community with on Saturday is, do we still thirst for the Lord? Many times in our country and even in our statuses as Catholic people, sometimes we get comfortable. Sometimes we take for granted what we have as parishes and people and places of where we can worship safely in our society and in our community. And we have to remember what God is calling us to do. And sometimes it means getting uncomfortable in a world that's filled with darkness, in a world that's filled with pain and hurt. God continues to challenge us to step out. And that's what I feel happens in our world, especially with our Black Catholics, those that were older and did so many great things. And especially during this Black Catholic History Month, I would take the time to just honor our 6 African Americans on the road to canonization. Unfortunately, in the reality of the church and its history, we have yet to have a Black Catholic, African American specifically, Catholic, capital S saint that walked on the continental United States. But we have 6 on the road to canonization. And when we look at our second reading, for if we believe that Jesus died and rose, so too will God, through Jesus, bring with him those who have fallen asleep. Meaning we are called to have hope. And in the gospel, it talks about the 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Us as church folk out to meet the bridegroom, Jesus, when he returns. We are people of faith, but we are called to stay vigilant and aware. And at the end of the gospel reading, it says, therefore stay awake, for you neither know the day nor the hour. So even for us, we are called to stay vigilant and keep hope in the midst of our trials and troubles. So let me begin with Father Augustus Tolton. Now, Father Augustus Tolton is the first recognized Black Catholic priest for the United States. Father Augustus had to go away to study in Rome because there were no seminaries that would take him here. And he thought he was going to Africa after he was ordained a priest, but they sent him back to Quincy, Illinois to minister. And he was a popular minister, but unfortunately he died of loneliness. But in his work, and in his stoutness, he believed what God called him to do. And in those dark times, he upheld himself. Despite the callings and the laws of the time of today, he stayed faithful to what God was calling him to do, knowing that even though he may not receive his blessing now, he kept hope. And we are called to be those people of hope. Venerable Pierre Toussaint of New York, popular hairdresser, enslaved ancestor from Haiti, who was moved to New York by those that he was working under and became, like I said, a master hairdresser, donated generous amounts of money to those in need, helped build the original St. Patrick's Cathedral. And in fact, after it burned down, now he is the only layperson buried in St. Patrick's Cathedral, the present one, in Midtown Manhattan, under the altar. And if you've heard of Catholic Charities, this is the man that created that process because of his generosity during that time. Julia Greeley, enslaved ancestor from Denver, Colorado, who did so many charitable works, despite her status in society, still gave out of love for those that were in need with a little red wagon, giving around doing charitable works. Venerable Mother Mary Lang from Baltimore founded the Oblate Sisters of Providence, who do so many charitable works even still today. St. Francis Academy out there in Baltimore, a very, very, very prestigious school, and the work that they do started by these sisters. Mother Mary Lang of Haitian ancestry also did so many great things to do what she needed to do during that time. You know, my personal favorite, not to sound biased, but Venerable Mother Andrea DeLille, who's from my neighborhood here in New Orleans, Treme, the oldest black neighborhood in the country, founded the Sisters of the Holy Family, of which I'm an associate member. And in her work, she stepped out on faith to do what she needed to do to create this religious order to minister to those that were in need, our enslaved and free people of color here, through orphanages and through nursing homes to help those that were in need, and even defied the law during that time, teaching people of color how to read, which was illegal here in the South. Venerable Mother Andrea DeLille. And finally, servant of God, Sister Thea Bowman, who many people that are still alive today had a chance to interact with and know. Now, Sister Thea, you can catch her YouTube video online where she's addressing the USCCB. And in that video, she said, the black Catholics of this country, and I'm paraphrasing, are a gift to the church. So for us, in these times of judgment, in these times of division, in these times of even racial discrimination, people kept hope. And we are called to keep that same hope, whether you're black or not, no matter your situations. Just as our gospel readings say today, we are called to stay vigilant and stay awake, for we know neither the day nor the hour. But as people of faith, we know God is coming back. And we are called to give our lives to him and share that hope that we have as people of faith and believers to those that are in need. So family, as I conclude this time with you today, keep hope and understand God loves you and he is working through you to help make the world a better place. Peace and God bless.